Max Verstappen just shocked the paddock again. After a weekend of balance issues, understeer problems, and a Red Bull car that looked far from dominant, the reigning world champion pulled out a lap that left everyone stunned. Against the odds, Verstappen secured pole position for the British Grand Prix, a result even he admitted wasn't expected. But in typical Verstappen fashion, he wasn't getting carried away. "It was very difficult to balance," he said at the post-qualifying press conference. "I think today we definitely improved the understeer, and that just allowed me to push a bit more because understeer is slow, especially in F1. So we just needed to try and minimize that." That single statement tells the story of Red Bull's Friday and Saturday. The car wasn't planted. The corners weren't flowing. Verstappen, a driver known for extracting the maximum from any setup, was fighting the car instead of commanding it. And then, when it mattered most, the balance improved just enough to let him strike. It wasn't a perfect build-up to qualifying, far from it. Red Bull looked vulnerable across all 3 practice sessions. McLaren seemed faster on race pace. Mercedes were a threat on one-lap runs, and even Ferrari had flashes of top speed. But when Q3 arrived, Verstappen found what others couldn't: clarity. In the moments where the tiniest hesitation can cost tenths, he delivered precision. And yet, despite starting on pole at one of F1's most iconic circuits, the Dutchman remained cautious. When asked what he expects in the race, Verstappen didn't hide behind confidence. He admitted the challenge ahead. "Let's see. We'll just go in there and try to do the best we can. Normally in the race runs, we struggle a bit more on tire life," he said. That's not just modesty. That's data talking. Red Bull have struggled recently with tire degradation, especially in long, high-speed corners, and Silverstone has plenty of them. Copse, maggots, beckets, stowe. It's a track that eats tires alive when the balance isn't perfect. There's also the looming threat of rain. Forecasts indicate a slight chance of showers during the race window. For Verstappen, who thrives in changing conditions, this could be a blessing or a new problem entirely. He acknowledged that uncertainty, saying, "I don't know how that will be tomorrow. We have to wait and see a little bit. Also, how the weather will be in general, if there is some rain or not. He's on pole, he's got straight-line speed, but he's still worried about tire wear, and that combination creates one of the most suspenseful setups going into a Grand Prix this season. Because while the headlines say Verstappen is back on top, the details reveal just how fragile that position might be. Even Verstappen himself made it clear that this isn't a championship-defining moment. It's not even a signal that Red Bull have regained control of the season. Asked about the title fight and what his true goal is this weekend, he smiled and offered a blunt answer. "I'm not really in a battle, so I'll just try to have fun and try to get the best possible result." That's a dramatic shift in tone. Coming from a driver who's built his reputation on intensity, consistency, and relentless domination, the phrase "just try to have fun" is as unexpected as the pole lap itself. But it also reflects where Red Bull stands right now, a team that's still fast but no longer untouchable. McLaren, Mercedes, and even Ferrari have all taken turns beating them in recent races. Verstappen's dominance is no longer guaranteed, and despite this pole position, he knows Silverstone might expose more weaknesses in Red Bull's current package. The straight-line speed advantage, which helped him nail the final sector in qualifying, won't save him in a 52-lap race where tire wear, strategy, and adaptability decide everything. "It's going to be tough there," Verstappen added when asked about race execution. "The straight-line speed is nice to have, but you still need to manage the tires around here. It's very tough with all these high-speed corners, but I'm just looking forward to it." That sentence says it all. The real race hasn't started yet, and Verstappen knows he'll be under attack from the moment the lights go out. Behind him, 2 McLarens, Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, who've been razor-sharp all weekend, with race pace that arguably looked stronger than Red Bull's. Norris, in particular, will be fired up to win in front of his home crowd. And both drivers know that Verstappen's weakness this weekend lies in consistency, not one-lap brilliance. Further back, Mercedes, now equipped with a car that's far more competitive than earlier this season, has George Russell ready to attack. And just behind behind, Lewis Hamilton in the Ferrari remains a major threat at Silverstone, a track where he's won a record number of times. Both drivers have the experience and racecraft to disrupt the front runners if the opportunity presents itself. Yuki Tsunoda once again failed to qualify for top 10, meaning Verstappen will have zero rear gunner support during the opening laps. If something goes wrong, he'll be alone. All of this makes Sunday's British Grand Prix not just a battle for victory, but a test of Red Bull's true strength under fire. It also raises a deeper question. Is Verstappen now racing without the weight of a championship? If we take his words at face value, "I'm not really in a battle," it suggests a shift in mindset. He knows McLaren and Mercedes are gaining ground. He knows Red Bull's internal development curve isn't as steep as it once was. And perhaps for the first time in years, Verstappen enters a race weekend knowing that every lap will need to be earned, not expected, not automatic, earned. His pole position proves that the champion's skill is still there, razor sharp, impossible to ignore. But the rest of the weekend, that will test his adaptability, and that's where the drama begins. Silverstone is a track that rewards bravery and punishes arrogance. It's where you can go from hero to zero in a single moment. A lockup at Cops, a late call in changing weather, a tire that falls off the cliff one lap too early. For Verstappen to win here, everything must align. Car balance, weather, pit stop timing, and strategy precision. One misstep, and the McLarens will be ready to pounce. One wrong tire call, and Mercedes could undercut their way to the front. And yet, in the middle of all this pressure, Verstappen appears relaxed. There's no talk of tension, no championship math, no desperation, just a smile, a shrug, and the words, "I'll just try to have fun." But don't be fooled. That doesn't mean he's taking it easy. It means he's approaching the race with freedom. No points pressure, no defensive driving, just pure racing instinct. And that's when Verstappen is most dangerous. He won't be protecting anything, he'll be attacking. And if the Red Bull holds up, that approach could deliver a win. But if the tires start to fade, or the weather takes a turn, or strategy falls apart, the pole sitter might find himself swallowed up by a field that's no longer intimidated by the #1 car. Either way, the British Grand Prix is set to be a thriller. Pole position is just the start. And make no mistake, this isn't just a question of race strategy. It's psychological warfare now. Verstappen's rivals smell vulnerability. Oscar Piastri, right behind him, has been openly confident all weekend. McLaren believe they have the better car over long stints. Lando Norris, not one to back off a wheel-to-wheel fight, is due for a major statement. Both drivers will know that if they can pressure Verstappen early, force him to over-defend or commit to a two-stop strategy, they can break Red Bull's rhythm before it even forms. Meanwhile, Mercedes are lurking. George Russell's qualifying form has been sharper in recent weeks, and with Hamilton's experience at this circuit, even in the Ferrari, they know how to strike when the top teams falter. And then there's the wild card, the British weather. If the clouds roll in mid-race, tire calls will decide the podium. And in chaotic conditions, the lead is never safe, not even for Verstappen. So yes, he starts P1, but nothing about Sunday is guaranteed. Because in this field, with these conditions and this level of competition, anything less than perfection will be punished. And for the first time in a long time, Verstappen knows it. What's your prediction for Verstappen's race at Silverstone? Can he convert the pole into a victory, or will tire wear and McLaren pressure take him down? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for daily updates, drama, and breaking news straight from the Formula One paddock. The race might start on Sunday, but the story has already begun.